we're back this week. It is another senior night weekend for Daemen Athletics as the Daemen women's soccer squad will take on their longtime rival, Roberts Wesleyan, this Sunday, May 2nd. Kickoff is at noon, and you can catch the game on the ECC network. And we are very excited to be joined by the Daemen women's soccer seniors. We have Maddie Flores, Aryana Dreyer, Serena Uhl, and San D'Agostino for a long time Daemen women's soccer fans. She graduated in December, and the program will be honoring her this Sunday along with our other three ladies. So, ladies, thank you all for joining me today. And how's everybody doing?
Good. Senioritis is hitting hard.
Well, we're almost at the end. And I can't believe that we're at the end of the season as well. 2-2 on the season. We just started only a few weeks ago. But Daemen, in case you guys didn't know at home, they won back-to-back games, both against the Uhl. And the last match for the squad was all the way back on April 17th. So it's going to be about a 2-week gap here before Sunday's game, but a 5-0 win against the Uhl. And after a slow start at the beginning, a couple of wins under your belt. And I guess, Aryana, just to start things off here, how would you describe the progression of this team over the past few weeks, especially this month?
Well, obviously coming in for the first month after the fall season and not playing any games and only practicing a couple times a week, we were grateful to be practicing at all in those pods and then eventually getting to a team practice. So still grateful for that. But still, it did affect the team. But we still overcame it. When we first played St. Rose, it was our first game in over 490 days, which is really crazy. But our team, we didn't win, unfortunately, but we know what we had to do. We know what we had to work on in practice, and we executed those things, and that's bringing us to these 2 wins and hopefully another win against Robert. So,
how would you describe the feeling when you made that first return, the team, the first vibes, or even though the night before that, hey, we have a game tomorrow against St. Rose?
It was amazing. We were just chanting game day, Eve, like days before. We were so excited. I'm just excited to be back on the field with each other and ready to prove what we've been working on. And we didn't get the outcome we wanted, but that's okay because we were able to still do really well against them and able to see what we had to work on, and we did in those future games. And we're going to show that at Roberts as well this weekend. So.
Definitely. And speaking of Roberts, Serena, it always seems that whatever the sport is, it's the Daemen-Roberts rivalry. It's always big. And going back to April 3rd, the first meeting was a 1-0 loss. And Roberts has won 6 of the last 10 here as well. But I guess, Serena, what's it like for you and the others, and seeing how the rivalry has been the past few years, a lot of close games? How would you describe the feeling of being able to finish out your career against the rival, Roberts Wesleyan?
Yeah, so definitely they are a huge rival for us, and they always have been. It's always been a close fight between us two. And unfortunately, last game that we played them, we did not get the result we wanted. But now I think it just gives us an extra incentive to we need to crush this. And especially for us seniors, this is our last rivalry game. So this is the last time we get to have one of those intense matches where you're fighting just to win. And it matters more that it's Roberts, for me at least, because that's my hometown. I'm from Rochester. So it definitely gives me even more of an incentive to want to kick butt and do amazing on Sunday.
Definitely. You mentioned about that first match, the 1-0 match. It was actually that lone goal, I think, was the first goal in the series in over 2 hours, almost 2 hours, 160 minutes or so. What adjustments, what takeaways did you and maybe the rest of the team take away from that April 3rd game?
Yeah, so I think one of our big takeaways was you can't let down. There's no stopping at all in these games. It's a full 90 minutes. You got to try your hardest and try your best the entire time. And I think that's something our team has focused on more after this game. And we've been more involved with effort and trying to be better and pushing ourselves to the limit that we know that we can do. And we know that the loss against them, and it wasn't good, and we know we have to fight and get it back.
Maddie, I noticed that you nodded your head a little bit there from Serena's response. And we talked about this a bit too in the past about the trust level and the chemistry, not only between the team and Coach Dan Dolan and the entire staff, but also among the 17 returnees on this team. It's been at a very high level. I guess, in your opinion, has the bond gotten stronger through this unexpected year?
I think so. I think that it's always, difficult when you lose a few like core players. Like over the past 4 years, we've just become so accustomed to having, Sam in the back, Kenny and Lindsay in the midfield, and Jamie up top. And so when you lose such fantastic players like that, it definitely adds a little blow to the morale, but it's all about bouncing back. And I think that the year of COVID, that's kind of the theme that we've been trying to focus on is not only being grateful that we're even allowed to play, but also bouncing back. And I think it was an adjustment period because last semester, as many sports had to do, we were in pods. So it was a little difficult trying to build those bonds with the freshmen because not everybody was together. Like I was with the goalkeepers and certain defenders were with each other and so on and so forth. And so it was a little bit difficult, but I think that this semester especially, we've all gotten really close. And I think that that's really imperative to our success, especially going into this weekend. So we're all just super hyped and excited for each other and to play for the seniors and to play for Dan. So
Definitely. And you mentioned about the defensive unit in the past couple of seasons. It's been a really big strength. What do you really think has been the mindset of the relationship between the defensive unit and you and Tori and Megan in net?
I mean, you kind of said it a second ago perfectly. It's about trust, like making sure that we trust each other and we have faith in one another to execute and get things done. And I think that this semester, the defensive unit and the goalkeeper unit has especially gotten stronger. I would trust every single one of my defenders on and off the bench, and I would hope that they would trust all three of us. But I think that that's probably the most important factor is ensuring that you have trust and you have faith and making sure that I believe that Serena's going to get it done and Serena believes that I'm going to get it done. And I think that we've been doing a pretty good job at that. Like I'm happy. I think that Daemen's always been really good at relationships on the field. We very rarely will yell at each other where you see other teams like that's kind of where they break down, but I don't think we ever really do that. So trying to keep the streak going. One last game, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I'm going to bring in Sam D'Agostino now. Sam, thanks for joining us today. I mean, you were a big part of the program the past couple of years. You and everyone on this call were a part of the 2019 team that made it to the NCAA tournament for the first time, program history, November 22nd, 2019 against St. Rose. But Sam, you grew in the program. And I guess how would you describe, because you have the unique perspective of just graduating this past December, as we mentioned, but that unique progression, seeing the progression of the program from your time as a player, about 2 years ago when you were wrapping up to now being an alum. How would you describe the progression of Daemen women's soccer?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts to like watch them play now. Like it's like I could see like everybody graduates in the spring and then they play in the fall and it hurts. Like, oh, it sucks. Like you're not there. But after being with everybody, like this core team that's playing right now in the fall and then watching them all play in the spring, like it sucks. I hate it. It's like the worst thing ever. And it's the hardest thing to do. But what I love is that I'm watching the girls that I was with and I'm watching them do exactly like what they wanted to do. So it's like, I know that they're there doing everything that we've all talked about and we've all planned and we've all like, written down in our journals or on our cards that we've kept in our phones and like everything we've thought of and like planned to do as a team. Like, I know I'm gone, but I know that I get to see them do exactly that. So it's been hard. It sucked watching them play. Like it sucked watching you guys play St. Rose, knowing like that was my last game was against St. Rose. And I was like, oh, just beat them so bad. And now like having our senior night be a rivalry game, like I'm just so excited for them. But it sucks watching them, but I'm so happy that I'm watching them do everything that we've always planned of doing. So it's kind of, it's a different progression. Like it's so weird being on the outside, but it's really nice to watch them like do everything that they've always like hoped and dreamed of doing. So I'm just glad that I get to watch them do that and that they're still doing everything that they want to be doing and they're still working 100% and they're still putting that effort in. And it's a nice thing to see. Like, it's nice to kind of be like the person that's there, but I guess I'm like, oh, I know they're doing so well. So it's good.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned about the progression. I don't know if you've watched any of the games that we've broadcasted the past couple weeks, but have you seen any progression from this team compared to when you were last on the pitch with them?
Yeah. I mean, the last time I played with them was on our little pods and then our little scrimmage we had, like our team scrimmage. So it's definitely different. Like progression wise, I'm like, oh, they're way better than that. But we played like our one full scrimmage, so I mean, I knew they're better than that. But I mean, it's really nice to see all of like our seniors step up and like these three here plus like Kat and. It's just so nice to see everybody like step up into like the role that they're given, and like being a senior has so much like oomph to it. Like everybody gets to be like that extra solid, that extra voice, and it's nice to see like them like all kind of step into their role as like they're meant to. And it's been like I sit there and like scream at the TV, and it's like not fun, but everybody's growing into like who like I always knew they were, and I think that they always knew they were just like ready to get there. So yeah, there's definitely some progression, and I really can't wait to see what like this Sunday game brings, but also like what the fall brings and when everybody's a year older as well. So
Of course, and May graduation season is just around the corner here. So I guess, Sam, I'll start with you again. We mentioned a couple times now you graduated in December. You have an undergrad degree in psychology. I guess, could you just explain what life is like for you now, and how did Daemen help you prepare for life after soccer?
yeah, life is not fun being an adult. I work 2 jobs right now, so I'm like, I just finished one. I'm going to another one after this. And so I've been doing that for the past little bit. And then I am going to be going back to school. I'm going to go to grad school in September. I'm going to get a master's of human kinetics, which is like kinesiology. And I'm doing a thesis in applied human performance. So very different. But Daemen's been really helpful, especially like getting into grad school. Like my professor that I worked with in the psych department helped me with a lot of my proposals that I had to write for grants and for like admission scholarships and things like that. And so I think I've learned a lot. Like when I spoke to a lot of professors for thesis writing and for supervising at grad school, like they were all really like proud and like interested in a lot of the stuff that I was able to do at Daemen. So like being a part of Wildcat Wellness and being an athlete and all of the things I've done. So I think Daemen has like really helped me kind of like stand out from like other people who are applying to places, which was definitely really helpful in getting me where I wanted to go this fall.
That's great. And where are you going for your master's degree now?
Yeah, it's the University of Windsor, which is in Windsor, Ontario. So it's by the border of Detroit.
Very cool. Good luck with that. Aryana, we'll go to you. I mean, your major, what your plans are, and how Daemen has helped shape you into where you're going next. I think.
Yeah, sorry. My major is social studies, adolescent education. Sam said it perfectly. Being a Daemen college athlete really just sets you apart from a lot of people when you're applying for jobs. I'm just really grateful. I was offered a job. They did bring up soccer. And just contributing to their program. That's something I would be honored to do. So it's just amazing in that aspect that I was able to come to Daemen, study what I love and play the sport that I love, while also realizing that that's preparing me for the future and going to be a huge beneficial thing in my future as well. So it's a win-win-win. I love it. I'm really grateful, and the experience here has been amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's great. That is awesome. Serena, I'll turn to you next.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go out into the working field. I'm hoping to get a job in the community health realm. And Daemen has prepared me a lot. They helped me with internships. There's always someone there to support you, which really is beneficial to every student, especially being a student athlete. We have Haley, we have other resources that are made available to us that not everyone else gets the benefit of having. And that's definitely a plus. And making sure you're on track to like do the best you can after you graduate. And that's how I feel about just
Yeah.
helping me through it.
Definitely. And Maddie, your plans, your major, and how Daemen has shaped you.
So my major is paralegal studies. It's a Bachelor of Science. I was recently admitted into law school, so I'm waiting to hear back from a few other schools, but I'm probably going to end up committing to Southern University Law School, which is in Baton Rouge in Louisiana, where a lot of my family lives and where I was born. I think that Daemen has, like these three ladies have said, prepared me in like so many different ways. I think one of the biggest takeaways that I have is that Daemen, and especially athletics, has taught me, one, how to persevere, and two, how to work for the things that I want, which is huge, not only when you're going into secondary school, but also when you're out in the job field. It's just having that grit and determination, and that's the Daemen way. It's the Daemen athletics way. Um, Through the academic side, my advisor has just been so fantastic. As Serena said, Haley's been fantastic. Lamarck Shaw at our school has been awesome. I think that that's one of the things that I'm happiest concerning Daemen is it's a small school, but they provide more than I think a lot of big schools do because they care about each one of us and they care about our progression and what we do after school. And they're willing to put their neck on the line to make sure that we're successful. So I'm just infinitely grateful for my advisor, Margaret Phillips, and everybody in athletics. And I'm just sad to close this chapter, but excited to open the next chapter. And I still got 3 more years until I have to be a big girl. So
Definitely.
gonna enjoy my time, I guess.
Definitely. And then I guess just lastly, if you could all just describe, Serena, we'll start with you here. If you could just describe in a couple words what representing Daemen as a student athlete has meant to you.
So being a student athlete, I would definitely say perseverance. We gotta that's a big one with our team. Like you gotta persevere after all the struggles and all the hardships that you may face. You've gotta push through and want to succeed and want to do better, things like that. I'd also say just determination to be better and to improve yourself and try to put yourself in a good position to be successful in the future.
Aryana?
So you said just describe your experience. I'm sorry.
Or what has representing Daemen as a student athlete, what has that meant to you?
Definitely. So it definitely just is very, very important to me. It was something I take pride in these past 4 years. And even committing here, I was so excited to wear the Daemen blue and just be here and experience being a college athlete. And I was just so grateful that Daemen provided us with such an amazing experience. It's very, very important to me. These last 4 years, I wouldn't have traded anything. I wouldn't have traded for anything in the world. It's just something, like Serena said, it's just being determined, persevering, doing all those things that's just going to make you a better person in the future. So being provided all those tools here was just something that was just really important to me. So like I said, I wouldn't trade this experience for the world. It's amazing. And I'm so grateful.
Definitely. Maddie, I'll ask you the same. What does being a Daemen Wildcat mean to you?
I like the word that Ari ended on is just gratefulness. I think that that's a really large team pillar, but also a pillar that Daemen Athletics embodies. And I think that being in athletics has really fostered my ability to be grateful and thankful for the things that I have. Dan is always saying, we're not as big as other schools. We don't have the things that UB might have or UCLA. But at the end of the day, we have each other, which is just as important, if not more. And also what Serena was saying, just that determination and that grit has really been fostered over these past 4 years as well. And just overall, just being a good person, I guess. I don't know, it's just Daemen Athletics just it has so many pillars for success, and I've just found myself trying to adapt to those pillars, and I'm just thankful and grateful these past 4 years, and sad that it's coming to an end, but all good things must come to an end. And I guess lastly, I would just say being a student athlete at Daemen has taught me that nothing is impossible. as long as you persevere and just keep pushing. So
Absolutely. Sam, any thoughts you'd like to add?
Yeah, leave me at the end after they say all the nice things and all the words I would say, like perseverance and grit and pride and gratefulness. But I like what Maddie was saying about like the pillars. Like we, as with women's soccer, we had pillars. We had Surge for a few years, which was an acronym of words that we used to stand by. And I know I left them with pride. So I know that they're doing that one now, but those two things are both, it's such a whole bunch of different words that like embody things that I focused on embodying while I was there, but I bring with me into my life now. Gratefulness for sure, just being grateful. Like Maddie was saying, like you learn so much being at a small school and in a small program, that how grateful you are just for what we have, but also, and then how to be like perseverance and determined and push through not having what other schools have, but still showing them that you can do anything that you want to do with as little as what, and we're not given bare minimum here. Like we have things. And so we're grateful for those things. We're not like just off the streets. Like we have a program, we have money, we have a team. We've got AT and we've got a whole athletics program. So we have so much, and you'd be surprised what you can do with those things and with just some core values. So definitely just like being grateful, taking advantage of what you've got and making the most of it. Nothing's ever impossible. And also just, I think, taking pride in, who you are and who you stand for and what you stand for. Like as a program, we stood for so many things that we all believed in. And so like, learning about yourself, and like, I think being a student athlete has taught me a lot about myself as a person, how to be a good person. That was like a big thing Dan kind of always ingrained in my head, was be a good person no matter what happens in life or in sport, like just be a good person. And so that's like, I think the one thing that I've taken with me the most is just, athletics is one thing. And I'm so grateful I got to play my, my favorite sport for 3 years and be a part of such an incredible program and, play alongside these great girls. But what in the end is that we all are great people as a program. We're not just all great soccer players, we're all great people. And those are things that we can take with us as we, as I taken with me as I've graduated, and I know these girls will, and all the following years will take, as well as all these pillars and just the fact that they're just great people and they're going to do great things in the world. So
well said by everybody. Again, you can catch Daemen Women's Soccer, the senior night festivities, Sunday, May 2nd at noon against Roberts Wesleyan on the ECC network. Ladies, thank you all for your time today. And best of luck on Sunday moving forward. And we'll talk to you guys again soon, okay?
thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.